I've been using the G4 Instant for a couple months now, and overall my experience has been great. There's four main things that I look at when I'm searching for a security camera, and that would be price, of course, resolution, dynamic range, and how wide the angle is. The instant cameras from Ubiquiti are a wider angle than their bullet cameras, so already we're doing great, because if you mount a camera into a corner, you only need about 90 degrees viewing angle. If you mount it up against a wall, you want a little bit wider of a viewing angle. Unfortunately, with the G4 Instant, it's a little bit more narrow than the G3 Instant. G3 was about 111 degrees, whereas the G4 is about 100 degrees. So just a slight crop there, but what you lose in crop, you're gaining in clarity. The fourth generation of the instant camera is 1440p, along with the rest of the lineup of Ubiquiti cameras in their fourth generation. This 1440 resolution in the fourth generation is higher than the 1080 resolution in the third generation, so it's a big improvement there. The clarity is certainly a big improvement. And coming from someone that can't afford the 4K cameras from Ubiquiti, the 2K cameras are a big improvement over the 1080 full HD resolution cameras. The other thing that's really improved in the fourth generation of instant cameras is the dynamic range. Not only is it a wider dynamic range, capturing more details in the highlights as well as the shadows, but it is also a more clear image and more detailed and more contrast as well as more saturation in daytime. Part of that could be because of the higher resolution, and that translates to the nighttime, which is an infrared footage that is more detailed than the third generation. It's a big improvement. It is more clear, it's higher resolution, but it also has better dynamic range, which leads to more contrast and more detail in your image. And I would argue that dynamic range matters more in a security camera than resolution, to a point. Obviously, if you're down to very low resolutions, you're not going to be able to read license plates at distance. And with these wide angle lenses, license plates are always going to be at a distance if you're mounting them anywhere reasonable, such as under the eave of your house. 4K is handy. It's very expensive from Ubiquiti. At work we use Amcrest security cameras, and we were able to afford the 4K cameras because Amcrest charges $100 for their 4K cameras, whereas Ubiquiti charges $400 for their 4K cameras. So Ubiquiti is a kind of downside when it comes to pricing, but you gain a lot in the dynamic range of the image, and you also gain a lot in the software experience of Ubiquiti. So it's a trade-off, but Amcrest gets you really good footage, and if you don't care about the software experience or the usability of the NVR, then you will definitely save a lot of money with some of Ubiquiti's competitors. But if you want to interact and you want to use an app to see your footage, then yeah, you're gonna want Ubiquiti, because the app for Amcrest was horrible. Usable, but horrible compared to the Ubiquiti app. The microphone sounds fine on the G4 Instant. The speaker is basically unusable on the G4 Instant. I've tried to talk to my dogs, and all it does is make crackling noises.
Ivy, where are you? Ivy, can you hear my voice? Arlo, are you there?
It's completely unusable. It's a really tiny speaker. The advantage of the instant camera over some of the other cameras in Ubiquiti's line is that it also has Wi-Fi, which is a nice feature. The disadvantage is that it does not come with a RJ45 PoE port, so you have to purchase a USB-C to PoE RJ45 adapter from Ubiquiti in order for you to be able to plug that camera in that way. So what I've done is everywhere I want PoE, I buy the bullet. And then for the situation where we just want to place a camera to watch the dogs, we have the Wi-Fi instant camera, which works just fine. And I'm happy. They're also more geared towards indoor use, even though they're rated for indoor-outdoor use. They're only IPX5 rated, which is not great for outdoor use. But in their defense, the bullets are also rated IPX4. You don't want to mount them in direct range. Something I'm happy about is the price on the G3 Instant has gone down to about $70 on the used market on eBay versus the $130 brand new for this, or $100 used on eBay. So there's a savings there for the G3. But the advantage with going with the G4 is higher resolution. I really like having that extra clarity. It comes in handy when trying to identify or just trying to zoom in on your dogs. I can definitely notice a quality improvement there. And the G4 definitely has a better sensor in regards to dynamic range than the G3 did. Overall, my experience with Ubiquiti security cameras have been great. I have plenty of their G3 bullets. I have this G4 Instant. I really like the G4 Instant. I won't be able to afford the G4 bullets, but I might be able to afford the G5 bullets. So we will see in the coming months. There's better dynamic range in the G5 bullet from what I've seen online. So hopefully, once I save up a little more money, I can buy one of those and test it out, maybe make a YouTube video about it. If you guys have any questions, hit me up in the comments, and I will try to answer as many of them as I can. Other than that, I don't really have much more to say.